As an example, hundreds of thousands of refugees from Somalia are completely taking over the once great state of Minnesota. Somalian gangs are roving the streets looking for prey as our wonderful people stay locked in their apartments and houses, hoping against hope that they will be left alone. The seriously R-worded governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, does nothing, either through fear, incompetence, or both, while the worst congressman woman in our country, Ilhan Omar, always wrapped in her swaddling hijab and who probably came into the USA illegally. Anyway, all right, let's get into it. So the two National Guard's members, one was a woman, the other one was a man, were shot a couple days ago in Washington, D.C., near the White House by an Afghan national who was, as we found out yesterday, a member of a CIA death squad in Afghanistan, and was properly vetted on numerous occasions, and came to the United States of America in 2021 with a bunch of other collaborators of the American occupation in Afghanistan. One of the two members of the National Guard that got shot succumbed to her wounds yesterday, and Donald Trump announced the death of the National Guardsman Sarah Beckstrom like this.
And the horror of our entire nation at the terrorist attack yesterday in our nation's capital, in which a savage monster gunned down two service members in the West Virginia National Guard who were deployed as part of the D.C. task force, which has done such an incredible job. I mean, until yesterday, we literally had no incidents for many months. It was the safest place imaginable, and this is a different kind of crime. This is a really bad crime. Millions of Americans are praying for those heroes and their families, and I must unfortunately tell you that just seconds before I went on, right now, I heard that Sarah Beckstrom of West Virginia, one of the guardsmen that we're talking about, highly respected, young, magnificent person, started service in June of 2023, outstanding in every way. She's just passed away. She's no longer with us. She's looking down at us right now. Her parents are with her. It's just happened. She was savagely attacked. She's dead. She's not with us. Incredible person. Outstanding in every single way, in every department. That's horrible. As you know, the other young man is fighting for his life. He's in very bad shape. He's fighting for his life, and hopefully we'll get better news with respect to him.
Some liberals thought Trump was behind this attack to boost his support. Yeah, it's just not going to work, though. I don't think this is going to have a rallying around the flag effect. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's just not. Yeah, he's definitely cooked. No matter what he does, and I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to work through the motions in an instance like this, in the way that like a competent governor would. Right? He's Trump, so of course he's going to do Trump shit. And the entire reason why people are upset at him is because he's been doing too much Trump shit. He's been molesting the money too much, for example. Right? So Trump only has one speed, which is do more Trump shit. So people are going to get mad. Some are going to get mad at him for, aggressively stamping out like visas and things of that nature. Other people are going to continue getting mad at him because he's not doing anything to solve the affordability crisis that he won an election on promising to solve. And things are only going to get worse.
And the monster that did this is also in serious condition. But we won't even talk about him. As you may know, DHS has confirmed that the suspect is an Afghan national flown here by the previous administration, who was such a bad administration.
Overnight, the brazen ambush of two National Guard members.
His disapproval is even worse, I think, than Brandon's. Biden in November 2021, his approval was 42%. His disapproval was 55%. Biden in November 2024, his approval was 37%. His disapproval was 58%. New Gallup poll on how Americans rate Trump's performance as president is now lower than that. 60% disapproval, 36% approval. 36% was Biden's all-time worst approval in Gallup. His disapproval was still 2 points better, and that came in July 24th right after he tanked the debate and was being pushed out of the race. Trump is now less popular than Brandon was at his lowest. Trump sees that. He knows that. No matter how many sycophantic losers are surrounding him, constantly telling him shit is actually sweet, Mr. President. Asked whether he'd attend the funeral of the National Guard member killed in a D.C. attack, Trump didn't offer condolences, didn't acknowledge the family, didn't commit to showing up. He immediately pivoted to bragging about how popular he is in West Virginia, which is, again, more Trump, right?
Stages obviously here, but do you plan to attend Sarah's funeral?
I haven't thought about it yet, but it certainly is something I could conceive of. I love West Virginia. You know, I wonder.
I mean, this guy didn't even talk about Charlie Kirk, right? He didn't even give a shit about Charlie Kirk enough. So much so that they couldn't even come up with like a competent singular message on the Charlie Kirk stuff, right? Very, very difficult for this man to offer condolences, like sincere condolences to some random National Guards member that he doesn't fucking know about, doesn't give a shit about at all. He knew Charlie Kirk personally. He was homies with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk did a lot for him, and he still was like, oh, the ballroom.
West Virginia by one of the biggest margins of any president anywhere. And it's, you know, these are great people. I love the people of West Virginia. I love the people of our country. But I haven't given it any thought, but it sounds like something I could do, yeah. It's very raw.
I talked about this extensively yesterday. The background of the shooter, the background of the Afghan shooter, and how similar that was to another shooting that took place earlier this year by Jamal Wali, another Afghan mercenary brought to the U.S. after Kabul fell, who shot 2 cops in Virginia, in Fairfax, Virginia. Listen to the incredible rant he delivers before he snaps, then watch how smoothly he draws and racks his weapon. Obviously a professional killer at his wit's end. Yeah, he literally says, I should have joined the fucking Taliban. I thought it was actually undocumented migrants. I thought it was actually the migrants that were the problem here. I thought it was the trans people that were the problem here. What the fuck happened? It turns out all of the mass apprehension of migrants is actually not solving any of the issues that many Americans were facing in terms of affordability, and neither did the trans thing. But that was the focus, right? You got your culture war. You won the culture war, right? You won the election. It turns out most people, by and large, don't give a fuck about any of this stuff.
Shot just blocks away from the White House, now deadly. President Trump announcing 20-year-old Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom has died of her injuries.
She's just passed away. She's no longer with us.
Beckstrom's father posting on Facebook, quote, my baby girl has passed to glory. The president saying the other wounded West Virginia Guardsman, Air Force Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf, is fighting for his life.
Their families' lives are all changed forever because one person decided to do this horrific and evil thing.
And this morning, chilling images obtained by the Wall Street Journal from an eyewitness showing the moments after those shots rang out, a frantic gun battle outside a metro station in the heart of the nation's capital. And new details now emerging about the lone suspect, 29-year-old Ramanullah Lakanwal, an Afghan national who officials say drove cross-country from his home in Washington state to carry out the targeted attack. Lakanwal immigrating to the U.S. in 2021 under a Biden-era program evacuating Afghan refugees during the chaotic withdrawal of U.S. forces. Sources tell ABC News he was formally granted asylum this April under the Trump administration. The president growing angry when asked why the suspect was granted asylum.
When it comes to asylum, when they're flown in, it's very hard to get them out. No matter how you want to do it, it's very hard to get them out. But we're going to be getting them all out now.
Sources familiar with the investigation say Lakanwal was a highly trained and trusted member of an elite Afghan counterterrorism force called the Zero Units, partnering with U.S. Special Forces and the CIA during the war in Afghanistan. The FBI now investigating the attack as a possible act of terrorism, executing search warrants at the suspect's home in Bellingham, Washington, where he lived with his wife and 5 children.
During that process, we seized numerous electronic devices to include cell phones, laptops, iPads, and other material that is being analyzed as we speak.
The suspect now facing several charges, including assault with intent to kill. D.C. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro saying he's now likely to face murder charges. And President Trump has responded to this attack by ordering what he calls a re-examination of all Afghans who came to the U.S. after the withdrawal of American forces from that country. It's unclear how that would work logistically. Also, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services now announcing they are halting the processing of all immigration requests for all Afghans indefinitely. Rebecca.
All right, Jay, thank you.
President Trump says he's ready to expel anyone who is, quote, not a net asset to the United States. And he's also threatening to end immigration from what he describes as third world nations. Our Nancy Cordes is in West Palm Beach, Florida, and joins us now this morning. Nancy, what specifically is the president speaking about?
Good morning, Errol. This would be a dramatic new step by the president, cutting off migration from an unknown number of countries that he deems third world. We have asked the White House for more.
Yeah, we got to get more racist, I think. You see, just as the traffic density problem can be solved if we just built another fucking lane, the American issue is we just haven't been racist enough. Right? Just a little bit more racism and all of the rent problem and all of the affordability problems will fucking go away, dude. A very happy Thanksgiving salutation to all our great citizens and patriots who have been so nice in allowing our country to be divided, disruptive, carved up, murdered, beaten, mugged, and laughed at, along with certain other... This is Stephen Miller. 100% Stephen Miller wrote this, okay? I can see from like the first couple of sentences, this is a Stephen Miller exclusive, okay? Because it is identical. It is identical to something you would hear from Goebbels or something you would hear from Hitler, you know? It's just straight up. Carved up, murdered, beaten, mugged, and laughed at, along with certain other foolish countries throughout the world for being politically correct, and it's just plain stupid. When it comes to immigration, the official United States foreign population stands at 53 million people, in parentheses census, most of which are on welfare from failed nations or from prisons, mental institutions, gangs, or drug cartels. Yeah, no, totally. That's what's going on here. You're so right. It is all the foreign nationals that are on welfare. Yeah, certainly not like the fucking forgotten white people that are born and bred American that are on welfare. It's just the foreigners that are not doing anything for America except, you know, picking all the fucking crops and playing a incredibly important role in all of our agricultural output that makes sure that Americans are well fed without taking a dime out of that fucking welfare structure anyway. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. It's just so wrong. Yeah. They and their children are supported through massive payments from patriotic American citizens who, because of their beautiful hearts, do not want to openly complain or cause trouble in any way, shape, or form. They put up with what has happened to our country, but it's eating them alive to do so. A migrant earning $30,000 with a green card will roughly get $50,000 in yearly benefits for their family. The real migrant population is much higher. This refugee burden is the leading cause of social dysfunction in America, something that did not exist after World War II. Failed schools, high crime, urban decay, overcrowded hospitals, housing shortages, and large deficits, etc. As an example, hundreds of thousands of refugees from Somalia are completely taking over the once great state of Minnesota. It's ironic to also shift the focus over to Minnesota, where Minneapolis is unironically one of the few cities in the country that has actually improved the material conditions of the people that live in Minneapolis. But of course, there's a lot of Somali people there, right? So if you're a fucking racist dipshit from looking at it from afar, you go, oh, the demographics of Minneapolis are shifting. I hate that. Meanwhile, the people of Minneapolis are actually pretty fucking happy. So happy that they hated the incumbent mayor and still ended up voting for the incumbent mayor. Somalian gangs are roving the streets looking for prey as our wonderful people stay locked in their apartments and houses, hoping against hope that they will be left alone. The seriously R-worded governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, does nothing, either through fear, incompetence, or both, while the worst woman in our country, Ilhan Omar, always wrapped in her swaddling hijab and who probably came into the USA illegally, in that you are not allowed to marry your brother, does nothing but hatefully complain about our country, its constitution, and how badly she's treated. This is... Oh, Ilhan Omar. He continues on with Ilhan Omar, but hatefully complain about our country, constitution, and how badly she is treated when our place of origin is a decadent, backward, and crime-ridden nation, which is essentially not even a country for lack of government, military, police, schools, etc. Even as we have progressed technologically, immigration policies eroded those gains and living conditions for many. I will permanently pause migration from all third world countries to allow the U.S. system to fully recover, terminate all the millions of Biden illegal admissions, including those signed by Sleepy Joe Biden's auto pen, and remove anyone who is not a net asset to the United States or is incapable of loving our country, end all federal benefits and subsidies to non-citizens of our country, denaturalize migrants who undermine domestic tranquility, and deport any foreign national who is a public charge, security risk, or non-compatible with Western civilization. What the fuck does this mean? These goals will be pursued with the aim of achieving a major reduction in illegal and disruptive populations, including those admitted through an unauthorized and illegal auto pen approval process. Only reverse migration can fully cure the situation. Other than that, happy Thanksgiving to all, except those that hate, steal, murder, and destroy everything that America stands for. You won't be here for long. Yeah, this is a Stephen Miller rant, 100%. Donald Trump is not capable of crafting this many words together. And also, you can see the fucking anger and resentment. Remigration is obviously a European fascist concept, by the way. Yeah, is a far-right concept originally from Europe of ethnic cleansing via the mass deportation. Remigration is it was utilized by the AfD in Germany, or is being utilized by the AfD in Germany. It just means like remigration is just deportation. It's just a European way of saying deportation. People aren't focused enough on the word denaturalize here. The president says he will revoke the citizenship of Americans who weren't born here if he and Stephen Miller decide they need to go. Denaturalization is a rare and legally difficult process that Miller and white nationalists like Nick Fuentes have been pushing to supercharge the process for years now. But as Trump makes clear by citing the number 53 million, which includes foreign-born citizens, any American who wasn't born here is now, at least in the eyes of the government, at risk of deportation. I don't think they're going to get away with this. I think they are far too unpopular. I'll just say it like this. I think they are far too unpopular to try to unleash an agenda like this. And no, you might get mad at me for saying this, but I do not believe that Americans are this racist, or at least enough Americans are this racist. The average American might have values that resemble the neo-Nazi in another country, but they're not well-read enough to act out on those ambitions. They're not disciplined enough. They don't care enough. You do not have a mass, ideologically committed fascist movement in this country. I don't think people realize what has happened. We are officially at war with Islam. Islam declared war on U.S. service members on U.S. soil. Secretary of War should respond by ordering military-style raids on every single mosque in America in a joint operation with the Department of Homeland Security to mass deport every single non-citizen Muslim in our country. We are at war with Islam. U.S. soldiers are being murdered on American soil by Muslims who are killing in the name of Islam. Americans should prepare accordingly. Buy ammo. This is just the beginning. And no, this isn't hyperbole. Over 72,000 Afghan immigrants were airdropped all over the U.S. in 2021. They are ticking time bombs waiting to explode. We must prepare to combat these enemy combatants who are likely planning more ambush-style attacks of jihad on service members and innocent Americans. Every devout Muslim is a foot soldier in Islam. The Trump administration should respond accordingly. This is where you get, by the way, when you think Islamophobia is permissible. And Islamophobia is institutionally permissible. So, of course, the most rabid sociopaths are basically going to take it to this fucking level. Okay? Especially because this is a very pro-Israel sentiment. Every single moment that Americans are predisposed with this like radical Islam taking root in America is a moment where they don't give a shit that Israel is like killing Palestinians. A moment that they don't give a shit where Israel is taking all their fucking tax dollars to go kill Palestinians. Meanwhile, this kind of sentiment replaced the word Muslim with Jew, and you get Adolf Hitler, right? What a fucking lunatic Laura Loomer is. Jesus Christ.